Back in the early days of social media, all you really had to ever pay attention to was like who was in your top 8 and what music you wanted to very tastefully put on your MySpace page. There's no denying that social media has changed how we function as a society and is truly the defining tool of our era. But it can also be incredibly overwhelming for you as a business owner. There are so many platforms, rules, algorithms, trolls, things you have to pay attention to, content you have to constantly be creating, and new things you have to be paying attention to all the time. It is truly enough to make any business owner just want to curl up into a ball and avoid doing social media altogether for their business. I've been a social media marketer since 2009. Even I get overwhelmed by the amount of content and changes and things that we're supposed to be keeping up with so that we can have that desirable online presence. This video is here to guide you through how you can avoid overwhelm and use social media effectively to build community, foster relationships, and get leads. Make sure you stay tuned to the end where I'm going to share with you how I organize my social media so I can spend my time truly effectively and not get overwhelmed by all of the information that's on the feed. So first things first, ask yourself, what would you do instead of doing all this social media craziness? Would you finish that project that's been piling up? Would you read or listen to an audiobook? Maybe you would spend time doing something completely unrelated to your business, like have a hobby or something. Part of the reason that social media is so overwhelming is because there's other things that you want and should be doing to move your business ahead and help it grow to where you want it to be. When you think you have to be spending all this time on social media, it's not going to help you move your needle forward, and instead it can hold you back and keep you frustrated and continuing to be overwhelmed. So here's what I want you to do. I want you to write down, what could you be doing instead of being on social media right now? What projects do you have? What thing can you do to remind yourself that, hey, stop scrolling, stop worrying about social media, and get on to those things that are going to move it forward. Put a little post-it next to your computer or on your mirror, wherever you spend your time, to remind yourself, what could I be doing instead? Next, I want you to pick one social network. Now, I know there's a lot, and there's a lot to pay attention to, and there's so many people out there that are like, be on all of the places and do all of the things and blah, 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 blah. But ultimately, what this can really result in is really lazy content. Like, you're going to be reusing stuff, you're going to be creating lazily, you're going to be forgetting to create, or there's just so much going on, and ultimately you're going to miss out on a lot of opportunity. You're going to do none of them well. So by picking one social network, you're going to be able to focus in on one platform, being able to pay attention to its quirks, what's working best for you, the algorithm of that social network wants you ultimately to do. When you're trying to figure out what platform is right for you, you got to ask yourself, where do I like to spend my time? And how can I be using this tool I like to use and understand how to use? How can I use that to my best advantage? So for example, let's say that you really like using Facebook because it keeps you in touch with your family and your old friends. You also find really great success in using the different groups because you can connect and network in there. Then you want to be using Facebook as your number one platform. Or maybe you really love just all the images and short form videos that are available to you on Instagram. It's very fun and quick, and you love to consume and maybe even create stories. Instagram is going to be a great place for you to cultivate relationships and engage with your community. Or maybe you're just laser focused on that professional business relationship and you just love sliding into people's DMs and doing business, setting meetings, and doing all that other really great stuff. Then you're probably going to want to dig into LinkedIn. You really have to pick one that's going to make you excited and happy, and it's not going to feel like a job or a chore to be on that platform. When you focus on one, you'll be able to streamline your time and messaging and have one platform to make you happy and pay attention to the changes. Number 3 is setting a schedule. Now, I live and breathe my calendar to the point that if it's not on my calendar, it is most likely not going to get done. You really want to do that with your social media. And I'm not talking about a content calendar, like that's a later step. What I'm talking about is I want you to set like a 15 to 30 minute calendar time on your calendar, maybe twice a day or something. And that's your dedicated social media time. That is when you're going to go on there and scroll and post and engage and answer questions and do all of that kind of stuff that you do passively. And then you're just going to not touch it for the rest of the time. When you schedule that time, you can be very focused on it and give it the attention that it needs. It's also not going to keep you from the other things that you want to do. Remember, this is about overwhelm, not removal. So by knowing exactly when you have that dedicated social media time, you're going to be able to use that time efficiently while focusing on the things that you need to get done. Now, you also want to schedule into your calendar when you're going to create content. That 15-30 minutes is for engaging and finding groups and commenting and answering questions. But creating content is a whole other thing that you need to manage, where it's going to be like, how do I dial in my messaging? How do I make sure I'm doing my leads? How I'm getting my conversions? Tracking all my analytics and creating content that's going to convert for my audience in the places that it does. You need to set aside a specific time just for creating and managing your content and then scheduling out with a third-party content management tool. Number 4, I want you to delete all the social networks from your phone. I know that this is kind of Desiree, no. But honestly, like, where are you watching this video right now? Are you watching it on your phone? Are you watching it, while you're doing something else? You have your phone with you everywhere. When you're in line, when you're in the bathroom, when you're avoiding doing some other project that you want to be doing, or housework or kids or family or whatever it is. By removing the app from your phone, you're taking away the temptation. You're taking away the notifications. You're taking away the habit and ease of just picking your phone up and getting on there and scrolling. So when you have that dedicated time, spend it on your computer. If you cannot delete those apps for whatever reason, go into the settings of your phone, figure out how you can put a time limit or a timer on how much you're in that app. Now, every phone is different, so I'm not going to do a tutorial about that, but figure out how that works so that you can, again, try to limit your time to minimize the overwhelm. Number 5 is follow only the things that you care about. You are not obligated to follow every business page or be friends with every person that meets you or sends you a friend request. Tailor your algorithm to the things that you care about and that what you want. If someone's posting something you don't like, unfollow them or turn off notifications for this post or mute that person for 30 days. You get to control what's there. And the other way around, you're able to do that for the things you want to see. Let's say someone that you like is posting things you want to see all the time. You can favorite them. That way they always show up. Or you can turn on notifications for posts. That way you can see when things are going to happen. The more you interact with things you want to see, the more Facebook and Instagram and LinkedIn and all these other platforms are going to show them to you. Tailor the feed to what's going to make you happy so that you're not stressing out and getting that overwhelm and stress that comes with all of the other crap that you don't care about or opinions that you don't like. Now, if you're choosing Facebook as the platform to be your number one, here's my bonus tip for you. Organize your friends. You can go to the homepage of Facebook, go to your friends list and hit create list. And then you can categorize everybody into specific buckets. So you can have an old friends or a current friends or a family, business colleagues. All of that can be organized into your feed. That way, when you want to just focus on business conversations, you go to the business list. If you just want to see what's going on with your friends, you go to the friends list. Again, we're tailoring our news feed to what we want it to be so that we know what we can see. And by having these lists, it puts you in specific mindsets for specific kinds of content to consume. So you're able to get more done and be more efficient with your social media time. So now that you know exactly what to do to minimize your overwhelm and have a very clear plan of what to do when you're on social media, I want to help you avoid any mistakes that you might have. Watch this video right here where I'm going to break down for you how to avoid all of those social media mistakes you might be making. And watch this video right here because YouTube thinks you're really going to like it. And until next time, I will see you soon.